Do you remember when Digimon first started? Everything was so magical, funny and sad at the same time. Well, out of all the new releases, Digimon Dreamers comes the closest to that. Old school Digimon manga. In many ways, Digimon Dreamers feels like reading V-Tamer again, with a timeless story, but some extra comedy. You can definitely feel they share the same author, Tenya Yabuno. We haven't seen a story like that in a while. There is no emphasis on technology of the times, or a post-apocalyptic atmosphere like in Seekers, which would limit the story to the time of its release. It happens mostly in the digital world, so you can go back to it whenever you want. It feels very old-fashioned but modernized, and I think this mix was perfectly executed. While Dreamers didn't introduce any new Digimon, the existing ones that were used fit in perfectly, making this manga a fun read for both old and new fans. The role of the main Digimon is given to Pulsemon, even though he was released some time ago. He was also included in Seekers, making him appear like the new Digimon mascot. His character and charisma in these latest releases are definitely proof that he has what it takes for that title. In Dreamers, Pulsemon needs to protect his village another Digimon and makes you feel for him and root for him to achieve his long-awaited dream of evolution. The story puts all kinds of obstacles before him, like life does to all of us. Even when he achieves evolution, it doesn't go as he hoped for. When hope is at arm's length and it seems the curse of the village will finally be lifted, another challenge appears. All of these situations serve as life lessons to be patient and persevere in our dreams. This is a great lesson for younger audiences and something older audiences can definitely relate to. His human partner Ritsu is not unlikable because he is all in all a good guy, but he seems more like a hedonist than a fighting spirit. He mostly wants to enjoy the Digimon world, eat and cuddle with Digimon. Unlike Taichi, the V-Tamer Taichi, Takato, Takuya and all the other goggle-wearing boys, he seems too relaxed and sometimes even cowardly steps back from action. This is very rare for a main tamer in a Digimon story, but that's where his and Pulsemon's different personalities seem to complement each other. Pulsemon, just like his name says, pulses towards his dreams, sometimes even dragging his partner with him, while the good-hearted nature of Ritsu brings out the best in him. Just like Pulsemon pulses into a battle, this story pulsed to its end. The development decisions for this manga are such a puzzle. It was launched in October 2021 in the Saikyo Jump magazine. After 21 chapters were released in the magazine, it was announced in June 2023 that the manga will go on a hiatus until all the previously released chapters are translated and added on the official Digimon website. In the fall last year, new chapters started being released on the web. The story started gaining traction. We had Phelasmon as the first big villain, and after his defeat, Barbamon appeared as his boss. It was hinted that the chapters to follow would involve Pulsemon evolving into Bulkmon, but also Wizardmon into Mistymon, as well as a potential for Wizardmon to evolve into Medieval Dukemon. Then suddenly, news broke out that Dreamers is ending with chapter 25. I wondered how they would pack everything unanswered in one short chapter, and the answer was they didn't even try. Wizardmon never evolved, they said goodbye to him and returned to the village, Barbamon was never mentioned again, and the curse of the village was not lifted. The manga ended with a cliffhanger, and instead of the end, we got what seemed like the end of part 1, but many fans are doubtful there will ever be a part 2. Was the interest of the public not big enough to continue to invest time in Dreamers, or did they shift their attention to something else? Maybe we will find out in time, but Dreamers definitely had potential to be a beloved part of the Digimon franchise, as the target audience was everyone. Even though the silliness of Digimon Dreamers suggests it was aimed for younger audiences, the story quickly became serious enough for older fans to enjoy, and you don't even have to be a fan of Digimon to enjoy Dreamers. It gives an introduction, simple enough for anyone to understand why the main characters are where they are and why they embark on an adventure without weighing it down with complex lore or reasoning. This makes Dreamers easy to love and enjoy by anyone. It's perfectly easy to digest. In my Digimon Seekers review, which ran parallel in some part with Dreamers on the web, I said how the chapters were sometimes very long and descriptive, so many fans gave up on reading. Of course, these are two different mediums, but as I also said in that review, we live in the time of shorts and reels, and we want information fast. We fail to invest the time needed to digest the story presented in a wall of words, some of which badly translated, despite maybe initially showing interest to check it out. Digimon Dreamers is the complete opposite of that. The story is divided into 25 chapters, all of which are just a few pages long. You can flip through a chapter in a matter of minutes. The best thing about it is the way the story is presented on the web. First, it's a manga, so it's naturally more interesting to see a Digimon than to read about it, like with Seekers. Second, the way it is presented encourages you to start reading and just go on. You open a chapter and the first page appears. You flip through to the left with arrows for navigation. The page never shows you its full content, doesn't tell you how many more pages you have left, or any indication how long the chapter is, unless you manually count the pages. Now imagine if you opened the chapter and it gave you a grid of thumbnails you have to open individually, or an overview of all the pages. You would naturally scroll to see how long is this going to take, conclude you don't have the time for it right now, and close the window. The way Dreamers is presented encourages you to start reading, and before you even notice, you finished the chapter. My final verdict about Dreamers is that I really enjoyed reading it, so much that the only thing I dislike about it is that it ended, and in such a rushed way. As you might have noticed, I usually do a balanced review with 3 highs and 3 lows, but I really can't pick out a needle from a haystack. If you want to read Digimon Dreamers, hurry up, because the manga will be available online only until the 3rd of April. The physical copy of Volume 2 will be released the next day, so from April the 4th onwards, the website will only show the first 3 chapters as a preview. If you want a quick video recap of the full story, you can find it in my playlist Digimon Dreamers. Did you read this manga? Tell me about your impressions in the comments below. If you want to support me, you can do so on Patreon or the Buy Me Coffee website. The links are in the description below. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more Digimon videos. P.S. Make sure to follow my community page on YouTube, as I also post updates about upcoming videos there.